So think of it like a book or a library. You have the spine, and all the books look the same on the shelf, pretty much. You might have different colors and stuff like that, but they all pretty much look the same, and you really don't know what you're looking at. But it might have the title of the book, but the title itself may not be descriptive of what the book is actually about. So you may have some information that the library itself uses to categorize. So they might categorize it as fiction or a novel or a bestseller and all these things. All of that information is metadata. Okay, so welcome. We're gonna just focus on metadata, everyone's favorite topic, or maybe not everyone's favorite topic, but anyways, this is the topic for today. So what is metadata? Metadata basically is information about information. So you put things in SharePoint, documents, etc., and you apply metadata, and that metadata allows for somebody to understand what that information is before they even look at the document. So think of it like a book or a library. You have the spine, and all the books look the same on the shelf, pretty much. You might have different colors and stuff like that, but they all pretty much look the same, and you really don't know what you're looking at from afar. But if you get up closer and closer, you'll see some numbers and you'll see some labeling and things like that on the spine of the document, or not, the analogy of the book. And so that's metadata. So it might have the title of the book, but the title itself may not be descriptive of what the book is actually about. So you may have some information that the library itself uses to categorize. So they might categorize it as fiction or a novel or a bestseller and all these things. All of that information is metadata that basically explains what this document is about, and among other things like attributes. So real quickly, to get to metadata in SharePoint, you simply go to your document library, or let's first go to a site, of course. And then all you got to do is go to a document library, or you can go to a list as well. It works the exact same way. So go to a document library, and anything that you see on the across or in columns, that's all metadata. So in this library off the bat, we have name, content type, check-in status or comment, and check-in and check-out. And then in a nutshell, that's pretty much what metadata is. If you want to see exactly the types of metadata that you can add to a library or a list, again, metadata works in both lists and libraries. So everything I'm doing here can be done in a library as well. Just simply click on Add Column. This will allow you to add columns, but you could also take a look at the different types of column options that you have. So different types of metadata options you have. So here is a text. So this is pretty straightforward. So if you want to just add like a single line of text or an item, you can use this column. And then if we do this again, here's a choice column. This is a very popular one. This is what I like to use a lot. So what this column does, it allows you to have drop downs. So if you say want to have a status of this document, then you can choose a status, completed, in progress, maybe not started. And then you could do document status as the actual name. And then that's pretty much it. And what this is doing is it's asking if you want this to allow for people to manually add their own status option. So right now, if we don't check that, it'll just be 3 options that they get to choose from. And then here we can set the default. If it's the default would be not started. And then that's pretty much it. There's some other stuff, but we can get into that in advance. Like I said, I have courses on this, so if you guys want to subscribe or take one of my courses with more in-depth, definitely you can do that. Just let me know. Okay, so there we go. So we have a new column here called document status. So we can click on properties from here, or we can highlight it and then click on the information bar here. And then we can edit all, or we can just edit directly from within here. So let's look for our new field. And here it is, document status. So we click on it. Now we're going to have our options here. And then we close this down. Okay. Maybe I have to actually click on it, click save. I'm like, huh? Okay. Just click enter. Type to filter. Type to, maybe because I have check-in and checkout enabled. I'm pretty sure I turned that off. Let me go to restatus versioning. Prior document is checked out for you. Let's just turn that off. And let's do this again. So again, go here, document status, and there we go. Again, Microsoft or SharePoint sometimes. I guess I understand why it wasn't working because you had check in and check out, but it just kept, I don't know, it just didn't kick off any error message to let you know or whatever. But anyways, okay, so that's that metadata. So let's take a look at some other ones. So we have the date column. We got another popular one. So again, you can do the date, and then you can set have it include the time. You can set a friendly time format, things like that. You can have it where it automatically sets the current date, or you can select a particular date. And then we have multiple lines of text. And again, this one's pretty much like the single line item one, but multiple lines. So you get the idea. And so here again, default value. And then under options, most of them have these options, but require the column to contain information, things like that. And then we have person, so people picker. If we use this one, it would allow us to find and resolve users' names. So search for them via the address book and then resolve their name and enter their name as metadata. And then we have a number column. And again here, we can, pretty straightforward. You can set it as dollar amount, pound, yen, etc., percentage. And then lastly, you have yes and no. Again, pretty straightforward. And you can set the value as default yes and no. And then of course you have some additional information. So once again, that's pretty much it in a nutshell with metadata. And we'll get into another video. We'll get into a little bit more advanced stuff in metadata. All right, thanks.